New Delhi, the Group 20 of world's leading economies welcomed the African Union as a member at their annual summit on Saturday, but their remarks on controversial issue Russia's war in Ukraine were pared down by a call to refrain from seizing or using territory by force. Was limited. Nuclear weapons. There were doubts that an agreement could be accepted, especially on war, due to differences among members. The G20 final statement, released a day before summit officially closed, was less sharply worded about the war than one issued at last year's meeting in Bali and did not directly mention Russia's invasion. Stating that members reiterated their national attitudes and decisions adopted at United Nations, Board called on all states to act in line with principles set out in UN Charter. Under UN Charter, all states must refrain from threat or use force for purpose of territorial acquisition against territorial integrity, sovereignty or political independence any state. The use or threat of using nuclear weapons is unacceptable, he said. There was widespread support for African Union be added G20, making it second regional bloc after European Union become a permanent member and adding impetus Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's push give Global South a greater voice. The Moroccan earthquake, which occurred while most of the delegates gathered in New Delhi were asleep, also brought the continent under scrutiny. Modi offered his condolences and support in his opening speech. The whole world community stands by Morocco in this difficult time and we are ready to provide them with all possible assistance, he said. He told leaders they needed to find concrete solutions to widespread problems that he said were caused by the ups-downs of global economy, the divide between north-south, gap between east-west other problems. Modi addressed delegates from behind a sign listing his country not as India but as Bharat, an ancient Sanskrit name championed by Hindu nationalist supporters. At summit, India wanted draw more attention to meeting needs of developing world, however, it is impossible separate many issues such as food and energy security from European conflict. Despite months of objections from Russia and China over language referring the war in Ukraine, leaders were able unanimously agree on several paragraphs referring the conflict, according Indian officials. However, language was weaker than at G20 summit in Bali last year. This summit included a UN resolution deploring in strongest terms aggression of Russian Federation against Ukraine and demanding complete and unconditional withdrawal of Russia from Ukrainian territory. The Bali Declaration also stated that most members strongly condemned the war in Ukraine, emphasizing that it was causing great human suffering and exacerbating existing vulnerabilities in the global economy. Where New Delhi statement reminds the Bali statement and UN resolution, no harsh language was quoted from T.